Patriots. How has Zach Wilson done in his career against the Patriots?
Not stellar.
Let's show. No, we can show you. I've never seen this before. A passer rating lower than the completion percentage. I didn't know it was possible. Josh and I were crunching the numbers trying to see if we've ever seen that before. By the way, Belichick's career, the only quarterback who he's played 4 or more times with lower passer rating, Sam Darnold. And then the last of the 3, the Chiefs. Why is that terrible? Their defense may be good, may not be good. Why did Zach Wilson go number 2? Who did he remind people of? What was the comp? Patrick Mahomes.
I don't remember reading
It wasn't
that.
my comp.
No, Brew, you agree with me. That was
really?
what, yes.
It was ridiculous.
Yes, of course. So my
that
point
was a great throw at
but that is what happened. So you're going to have the Cowboys pass rush and defense, the Patriots, and then after those 2 brutal games, you're going to have that's a national TV game when people say, coming out of BYU, people said he could be Patrick Mahomes. Let's see how Patrick Mahomes looked his first 3 years. Show the MVP, show the trophy, and poor Zach Wilson. He's not going to be the starter. So I agree with Robert Saleh in this regard, Brew. It's not Madden. You can't sign someone on Wednesday and then start Sunday, which is why
Baker.
The sooner Baker in 98-yard drive to win the game, but you don't like him. The sooner you admit that and are honest with yourself and bring in Jameis, or bring in Jacoby, or bring in
Carson.
I'm not a Carson Wentz guy. Davis Mills, guys, someone like that, the sooner they can play quarterback for you. Because Zach Wilson is not going to be your quarterback at the bye. He's not.
Look, I hear what you're saying, and it makes a lot of sense. I do give him a shot. And you're right. I mean, he's going to get eaten up this weekend.
And next weekend.
Dallas, and then you got to face Belichick. Like that game, they kind of have to win for him to have any chance.
Well,
but
not win.
They have to try. They have to be able to win that game. And then they got Kansas City. But like I said yesterday, I'm making calls. And it can be the guys you mentioned. I would throw Carson Wentz in there.
Can I read you a quote just so we can stop talking about Carson Wentz?
Nick, you know even his last year in Indy, was it 27 touchdowns, 7 picks? I know he was bad at the end of the season.
Wilds is going to
and he was horrible with Washington.
He's not going to
do the kid has far more talent than Zach.
Let's hear more here.
All right.
Zach Kiefer of The Athletic. Tell me if you like this stuff, bro. I've been working with you for.
For you is correct. We all work for Brew. That's correct.
15 years. Tell me if you love this stuff. Zach Kiefer of The Athletic. When he left the Colts. Colts grew frustrated at what they deemed a lack of leadership, a resistance to hard coaching, and a reckless style of play, which had a role in several close losses this year.
Right. Agreed.
So they went to Washington. Ron Rivera started him, and then they're like, no, we don't like this either. So now he's wandering.
I don't like Wentz either. He's better than Zach Wilson.
Yes. And again, look.
Zach Wilson bought the offensive line scooters, and you guys act like it's not a good job.
A big part of Carson Wentz's problem it has been the locker room. Has been guys not liking him. So part of that is he thought he knew everything.
Yeah.
He has been humbled. And I'm not trying to say he's going to come in and be Superman, but he, as Nick even said, appears like we'll see what Zach does, but all indications are he is light years ahead of
everybody.
Zach Wilson.
There was no Here's the thing,
and he's had some great moments in NFL.
Carson Wentz,
yes,
yeah, of course. He has
came from somewhere.
They wanted obviously to trade him, Zach Wilson. There was no market. There was an instant market. It was tepid, but an instant market for Trey Lance.
Well, it's one guy.
No. There was one guy that was offering a fourth, but the reporting was that he blew the other offers out of the market, which means there were other teams
to see Trey.
Right, but that's my point. My point is, and this isn't me caping for Trey. My point is, Trey went third in that draft, Zach went second. Both could have been gotten at various points this summer. There was at least a few teams willing to take on the guaranteed money for Trey because of the possibility he could turn into something. There was no market for Zach. And the tape is out there.
Yeah.
I know you and Josh are grinding all 22. You got to grind more Zach Wilson all 22. It's not good.
It's ugly.
It's bad all 22.
I know it's not good.
I don't know. I think you're
watching the tape. I do think, Nick, they are right to give him a shot. This is his third year. They have the one victory to play with. Hey, wow, we got to win. So now you got a little time to see what he can do. And if he's terrible, you move on.
If it goes this week in the way we all think it will, even if you're going to leave him the starter in name, you must acquire another quarterback this time next week, earlier than this next week, so they can start learning the playbook, so they can play darts with Nat Hackett, so they can do the various things you need to do to be able to play quarterback for the Jets.
Josh Allen's confidence next on FS1 and the Fox Sports Channel on Sirius XM.
Play smarter football. I thought our team did a lot of good things. Don't want to take away from that. It's the grand scheme of things, it's one game, and we're not going to let it turn into two.
Okay. Do the Bills need a statement win against the Raiders?
No, and I don't even think a statement win's really possible for the Bills against the Raiders. The Bills are at home. Everyone knows they're desperate. People, despite the Raiders eking out a win over the Broncos, I don't think anyone thinks the Raiders are a great team. And we know the Bills, when they're rolling, look like as good of any team in the league. Nobody questions, like, what does the Bills' A game look like? What they need is repeated examples that Josh Allen has the ability to exhibit self-control. Mm-hmm. And everyone is, I shouldn't say everyone, a lot of people are saying, well, sure, it looks like more and more he misses Brian Daboll. And I think Daboll's excellent. And I think that probably is a small part of it. But something else, I'm not drawing the line of Josh Allen's recklessness with the loss of Daboll. I really, truly believe that game against Kansas City did two things to Buffalo. One, institutionally being that close to achieving your goals, your stated goals. We're obsessed with Kansas City, beating them, having them beaten. I think emotionally took a toll on Diggs and a lot of the players and the coaches. And I think Josh Allen playing at that level on that stage, slinging the ball 40 yards in the air repeatedly and it working, I think he got a little drunk on it. Oh. And I think every game he plays like it's that game. Like you're playing Patrick Mahomes and you got to get 40 and let's just grip it and rip it, baby. And because Daboll was gone the first month of last year when he was sensational. And so I think it is an element of, can you take your foot off the gas and recognize we don't need that today? That's what they need to see from Josh. And so nobody, even me, doubts that when he's rolling, he's amazing. It's that, can you throttle it back? That's what you need to see from the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, Nick makes a lot of good points. This doesn't need to be a statement game. This isn't like, it's not Mahomes. It's not the tiers. It's not one of those evaluations. It's full of bias and things like that. And you have to have style points and all those things in order to be objectively evaluated. Okay. And his point is exactly right. And this happens a lot in coaching, and it's something that you have to fight with your assistant coaches on a consistent basis, where if a player does something that's not the right thing, and you say, that a boy, good job, and then when it doesn't work out, then you're critical of them, it's a very inconsistent message. You've got to be consistent across the board. Even if you go out and make a play that's a reckless play, you've got to make sure that you clearly articulate, that's not what we need. That's
even if it works.
Even if it works out. And it's very common in coaching to be like, great job, way to make a play, way to improvise. And you can say those things, but then you can't be critical of that player who goes out and does the same exact thing and blows it. There's got to be some consistency in the messaging as to how you do that.
If I was a quarterback or a wide receiver and I made a play off script and it was awesome and the crowd's cheering and I did awesome, I would go into the tape room and you would yell at me?
Not off script.
Well, here's the thing. If you want to be a make something happen quarterback, that's great. And there are a lot of those guys. And what that means is you're going to make something happen for your team and you're going to make something happen for their team. Now, the problem with that is you have no level of predictability of where that balance is going to be from game to game. And so you have very inconsistent up and down seasons and up and down performances. Yeah, if you go into the tape and you throw across your body and it happens to work, it's still low percentage football. And you've got to say, this is low percentage football. It worked here. We got away with one. That's great. But if you keep trying to do this with any type of frequency, it's going to hurt us.
It's reaching for the pylon in New England. Yeah. Even when it works, they get in trouble for it. We've heard that. You know what? Because Belichick doesn't want the fumbles out of the end zone.
Because it's low percent. It's bad business, and eventually you have to pay that bill.
It's a hat trick. I mean, I agree with you guys. Like, they can't make a statement because with Buffalo, it's not about momentum. You can say, wow, the momentum is really going back. Even when it's going well for them. Last year, they started 6-1. Blew out the Rams when we thought they could play because